This week's project is long overdue. A desk organizer for Kevin's hideous office. I don't know how he gets anything done with all that mess. This is the before picture. Wait till you see the after.
Okay, to get this project started, I'm going to be cutting down the material for the sides. I just have some things left over from my garage remodel project, and it'll be good enough. It's not quality stuff. This is melamine. It's basically plastic coated particle board, sawdust. But for the sides, considering that we're going to have the face frame on it, it'll do the job. If I were making a quality piece, that's going to be seen by a lot of people in a home, I would use plywood for this or solid wood. But my office is in my basement, and Kathy and I are pretty much the only ones that are going to see it, so I'm not going to worry about it not being strong enough. So I want to use this stuff up basically, and I've got it on hand, so I hate to waste things. And I don't really want to go and buy new quality plywood for this project. So my first step is going to be to cut these down to 9 1/4 inches. The edges of this stuff can be pretty sharp, so I use gloves when I handle it, so I don't cut up my tender hands. In the center section, I'm going to use quality plywood for the shelves because they're going to hold the weight of the computer, at least the bottom one. And it's going to be a fixed shelf, so I do want to use a quality piece for this, and I'm going to use my Fancy Pants miter gauge to make this cut. Now I can live with a little bit of waste like this. On all of the shelves and the 2 inside sides, I'm going to drill some large holes for cords to pass through, and I'm going to use a Forstner bit for that. I've just got a piece of scrap wood underneath this, so it makes a nice clean cut on the back side of this. Well, next I've got my dado head cutter set. It's 3/4 of an inch thick, and we're going to cut the middle of the 2 sides to hold these shelves. The reason for that is, I'll show you in a minute. The reason that we want to use a dado for this joint is because the weight of the computer is going to be on this. So when this shelf sits inside of this, it's going to be very strong for the downward pressure, especially once we get the face frame all screwed on here too. I've slid my slide out on my miter gauge to make the top dado, which is going to receive the top shelf. And not that there's going to be any weight on that one, but it's just going to make the math a lot easier if both the top and bottom shelf are the same size. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this through for the second dado. And this should be all the milling that we need on the inside side panels. Well, our fixed shelf is going to be right about here, but from here up we need to have some adjustable shelves. So I have this little jig that we can drill the holes in, and then there's pins that will allow us at any time in the future to change the height of the shelves. I just measured up 14 inches, and that's where I put the edge of the template, and clamp it down on here and drill in all these holes. On this side, I didn't start until the 3rd hole because of this hole that I drilled for the cords, so I'll do the same thing on this side. Now I'll just do that on the other 3 sides. Well, this is one of the outside side panels, and this edge will go against the wall. So that's where I'm going to put the pocket screws that will hold the face frame in, because we'll never see it. It goes up against the wall. Won't have to worry about that one little bit. And again, I like to just mark the orientation of things. So I've written on here top left and made an arrow this way, so that's the face. So I know that this is where my pocket screws are going to go. Pocket holes. This is the bottom shelf that the computer is going to sit on. I'm just going to drill a couple more 1.5 inch holes here to fish wires through, because you just never know. The Forstner bits just really make a nice smooth hole. Even on the back side, I put some scrap wood down, so that's what we drilled in. But that's still pretty clean for the back side of a big hole like this.
Now it's time for a little assembly. We're starting with the fixed shelves that go into the dado. Just some glue and clamps will keep this in place.
Okay, next we have to attach the side shelves with pocket screws. And so what we've done is clamped a straight edge to the carcass and also this side that's not attached yet. And we're going to put some glue on there, although honestly the glue doesn't stick super great to this plastic coated stuff. And then we'll drive in the pocket screws. Once the face is all attached to this, it's going to be all a solid unit. Okay, we just added this clamp to keep it in place up and down here. Okay, that worked out okay. Swimmingly. Let's wipe the glue. So the job of this is done. We can take that off. And we'll use these on the other side. Guess there's a little glue here too. Just a little. We will have those braces to glue there where you are. The problem is this table is higher than that, so we need to slide that down. On the back of this unit, I have a couple of braces that are the same size as the shelves, so that'll keep everything square. Okay, it's time to rip some stock down for the face. I'm going to go with a 2-inch face, and I'm just going to use pine because, like I said, this is a utility cabinet. And I had this on hand, so I'm going to rip it down. Well, we need to run these down the joiner to make a nice smooth edge after ripping them. And we're going to join the face frame together with pocket screws. I'm ready to screw the face together with my pocket holes, and I've got my extra plywood sheets that I use for miscellaneous jobs like this. And the reason for that is once I get the glue spread on here and then I line these up, I just clamp it right to the plywood, and while I drill those screws in, it doesn't move at all. Works out very nice. And now the screws essentially become the clamp while the wood dries, so we can take this off and use it on our next corner. We've got 2 adjustable shelves. I may make more in the future, I'm not sure, but I don't want the end of the particle board melamine stuff showing. So I just have some pieces of trim from an old project. It's half round. And I'm going to spread some glue on here, flush it up with one side. This is wider than the actual plywood, so I'm going to leave that on the overhang on the underside of that. And I'm going to flush it up on the top and just attach it with a couple of brads until the glue dries.
Now Kevin is putting together the face frame with pocket screws. Once he gets everything aligned, he clamps the rails and stiles together and drives in the screws. After the glue dries on the rails and stiles, he spreads glue on the carcass and attaches the face frame to it. This is also done using pocket screws. Once the glue sets up, this really solidifies the cabinet. A little sanding while I'm nowhere in sight, and this project will be ready for primer and paint. Here it is, all finished. Isn't it beautiful? His office is so much more organized now. And here's the before picture again. Wow! Thanks again for watching. Remember to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified when we have a new episode. Also, leave us a comment.
So until next time,
Keep your biscuits dry.